I think somebody that lies as much as you do about everything, it seems, and just kind of does what you want to do. Because you've probably been doing this your whole life. And that's why you can't change.
May I have the opportunity to say a couple of things?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Ms. Hughes.
I appreciate it, Mr. Honor. Your Honor said something very interesting. You've probably always been this way, so that's why it's so hard to change. This behavior is exactly what this case is about. She's charged with R&O. She's charged with malicious destruction of a building. She went to her ex-boyfriend's business and kicked his front door of his business. The police arrived and she immediately started lying.
Buckle up, because today's case is a masterclass in how not to treat a judge, complete with lies, a podcast appearance from jail, and a reality check that hit harder than any sentence. Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down the chaotic, spiraling courtroom saga of People versus Julie Fong Fan out of Michigan.
That she had just got there, that she hadn't kicked in the front door, that she didn't know what was going on. The police wanted to conduct their investigation, so they asked her to just wait in her car. That's all they asked her to do. And can you just wait in your car? And she took this as an opportunity to defy them rather than just listen to them. She told them, I'm not doing nothing. I don't need to go to my car. They asked her again, please go to your car. She decided to cut off Officer Cunningham, not allowing him to speak. She said, well, you can either wait in your car or you can wait in my car. She said, take me to jail, fuck it. Yes, go ahead, take me to jail. So I instructed her to put her hands behind her back, is what Officer Cunningham's report says. She then began to verbally and physically defy Officer Cunningham to the point that Officer Baldwin, another Ann Arbor officer, had to get involved. When Officer Baldwin approached, the defendant turned to Officer Baldwin and pulled her left hand away and said, don't make me swing on you, to a police officer. So yes, this is what she does. She lies and she wants to play by her own rules. So by continuously violating Your Honor's orders, this is just a game at this point. Your Honor, I'm asking that you remand her. I'm asking that her bond be revoked and that no bond be set at this time.
Mr. Warren Green.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Fong Fachan, as the court knows, is a mother. She was previously employed at the University of Michigan, stocking shelves. She lost that job when she was remanded to custody, and I know that she is seeking reemployment. Ms. Fong Fachan fully understands that the consequences of her actions.
Does she, though? Does she?
Julie starts off like a lot of defendants, out on bond, charged with some serious allegations, and supposedly trying to get her life together. She's a mom, she lost her job when she was taken into custody, and her attorney is doing everything possible to convince the judge that she's ready to do better. But as you're about to see, her actions tell a totally different story, so we open with Julie's lawyer trying to do damage control, is talking about her kids, her lost job, her desire to improve, basically painting her as a woman who just needs a structured second chance. And the judge interrupts with what is possibly the most.
I mean, I don't know anything about what was necessarily alleged in the case other than the charges, right? And then to hear that recitation of what this case is about and then look at this defendant's behavior, does she really? And I don't know why these kids keep coming up as some shield, because it appears to me everything she's doing has nothing to do with them. She's just running her world. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Your Honor, Ms. Fong Fachan has faithfully attended all of her court hearings. I believe that with added conditions of alcohol monitoring, that the court's concerns about her drinking be suppressed. I know it's difficult to address the court's concerns about Ms. Fong-Fachan's dishonesty. I believe she's come before you today and been honest about her past conduct and the conduct even after she was released from custody before court today. I'm asking the court to consider continuing her bond with those added conditions, as Fong-Fachan will test today and tells me she will test clean.
Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Dr. Young, anything else?
Well, I can speak. I just wanted to say sorry. I've made some mistakes that day when that happened. I didn't necessarily just kick in the door. It was more to it inside. And it just escalated. I was upset. I didn't mean to harm or disrespect Officer Cunningham.
Honest judicial question ever, sir. I'm not buying what you're selling today. Because here's the thing. This judge has heard the rundown of what happened in the underlying case, and now he's watching Julie's behavior on bond, and none of it is matching up. Every time her lawyer brings up her kids, the judge pushes back. He's clearly tired of defendants using "but I'm a parent" as a shield while doing absolutely nothing that resembles responsible behavior.
I didn't mean it for it to escalate that way. And I hope that I can apologize and make it right. I'm trying to. Since this has happened, my life is in shambles. I'm trying to figure it out. Being in jail I get to sit and think about my actions and, actually learn from them. But being in there, I can't get things done. I have to figure out getting another job, paying bills. Not that you care, but I'm trying. I'm trying to make it every court date. I quit smoking weed. If I can be placed on an alcohol tether or have to drop for, urine. I ask, can you still give me another chance?
And you said something very interesting. You said, I don't care. Not that I care.
Just now?
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Because actually, about everybody that comes before this court, I care. I do. Maybe sometimes to my detriment. I do care. I don't understand your stupidity.
But the lawyer keeps going, insisting she's been honest today, that alcohol monitoring could solve the problem, that she understands the seriousness of the situation. He's doing the attorney duty, argue for bond. Then the judge turns to Julie, and this is where everything really starts sliding downhill. Julie apologizes, sort of. She says she didn't mean to disrespect the officer. She didn't just kick in the door, it was more to it. She says jail has made her think, but she also needs to get out to pay bills and get a job. She even throws in, not that you care. If you've ever wondered what a judge looks like when they shift from concern to done, this is the moment, because the judge snaps right back, actually, I do care. Maybe sometimes to my detriment. I do care. And then he drops the hammer. He cannot understand her stupidity.
I just don't get it. And you're asking me to give you another chance. You got the first chance when you were first out. Put you in. I bring you back. And you put me in a position where I can't give you another chance. So then you're in there another week. Told me that day, you and Mr. Feaster. You had learned everything and you were going to be able to conduct yourself by the court rules and everything else. You don't, at 24 hours, you don't make it 24 hours. And you all think you just think that all of this is a joke. Don't get to just have your way because you want to have your way. Always. There's a bigger bully.
He gave her a chance. She blew it in less than 24 hours, and she acts like this is all a joke. You can feel the judge getting more and more frustrated, not angry, but deeply disappointed. Which in judge language, that's worse. And he reminds her pre-trial release isn't a right. It's a privilege. Then comes the final strike. You put me in a position where I can't give you another chance. Julie is going back to jail. He sets a new hearing date and says her attorney can file a motion later, maybe, but for now, she's being taken into custody and will be placed on alcohol monitoring if released in the future. Hearing over, illusions shattered, consequences delivered, and honestly,
But if you think I am going to tolerate this, wrong judge.
I know.
I do not like sending people to jail, but I'm going to do my job. And if you can't cooperate, if you can't just do the simple things that are asked, none of this stuff is hard. None of it. But if you've got to pretend to all these folks that this doesn't bother you and you're just too cool for any of this, and you're just going to make it, well, okay, so be it. You can sit up there and be everybody's hero. So, Mr. Warren Green, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn her preliminary examination. I'm adjourning her preliminary examination April 23rd. 2024 at 9, that is before me. It will give you the opportunity to certainly motion before this court this defendant's release, but for today, she's going. Defendant's bond is hereby revoked pending a motion hearing. If defendant is released from jail, she will go on an alcohol scram test. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
They just took somebody back, so I can't bring that one out. Mr. Warren Green, if you have that, you can set that on a Wednesday for any type of motion hearing on a Wednesday.
I will file it.
You do that. It's on a Wednesday, so Miss Perroni and Miss no, Barroso's not going to help me. Miss Coons. Miss Perroni, Miss Coons can help you.
this whole thing was like watching someone speedrun their way out of Bond. You know how in video games you can accidentally hit self-destruct? Julie found that button in real life and slapped it repeatedly. Also, not to be rude, but if your case is already teetering on the edge, maybe, don't call into a podcast from jail. Just a thought, so where does that leave her? Bond revoked, credibility tanked, and a judge who went from concerned to nope in record time. Will she get out again, but after this? Performance? Not without a miracle and a very, very persuasive attorney. Alright, your turn. If you were the judge, would you have given her one more chance? Or was revoking Bond the only reasonable move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, folks. If you love deep dives into real courtroom chaos, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. We've got plenty more cases coming your way. Stay tuned.